Dungeon Master is about a group of friends who, at a party, discovered that they all used to play Dungeons and Dragons when they were kids, and
the fantasy role-playing game.
Yeah,
You get together, role-play thing, and but none of them remember the rules about how to play. So they decide to invite a friend of a friend who knows all the rules, and this guy shows up, and he's the real deal. He's got, the cape, and he's, the real
he's like
gamer.
a full committed gamer in the real true geek sense.
Yeah. And so then everything goes terribly wrong from there. Well, it's based on a true story. That's exactly what happened.
Shiloh and I used to play Dungeons and Dragons when we were kids, and we stopped when we discovered that girls didn't think it was as cool as we did, and so we were at a party with friends, and we all realized that we had all played D&D, and we were like, well, let's try it. We can be cool. We can do this now. We're old enough. We're cool enough now, and it was really not great. And we couldn't remember the rules, and of course we invited a friend of a friend, just like in the movie, and this guy showed up, and he was completely committed, and he was a very cool guy, but he was just so much into the game in a way that we weren't, and we felt this desire to make fun of him after he left, and then we were like, wait a minute, why do we want to make fun of this guy? He's the one that's actually having fun.
He was invested in it, and he's doing voices and getting into the whole thing, and we were just too cool to be like, oh yeah, okay, we're gonna play D&D, and but too insecure to really give it all, whereas this guy, he just didn't care. He's willing to go out there and have fun and be his character and do his thing.
So it was like this weird reversal of cool, in a way. It was like we were people that go to the dance and then stand on the sidelines and don't, they're too cool to dance.
Right.
But in this case, it was like we were too cool to be geeky, and we just realized we were like, this is an interesting, dynamic, because I feel like there's a lot of sort of hipsters out there nowadays that, it's like really cool to say, oh, I used to be a nerd when I was in high school. I used to be nerdy. But what does that really mean? We kind of wanted to explore that.
Yeah, and so that's the main character, Shane, played by Adam Bush. We kind of embodied. He became, the meanies of us, but a character who comes into the situation thinking that he can play Dungeons and Dragons again and get back to his geeky childhood, but the reality is he's too insecure and too much stuff comes up, and he ends up lashing out at this gamer, the Dungeon Master, and that's where it gets dark, it gets wrong.
It's so much fun to see because, we put in some sort of references early on in the film to Magic the Gathering cards or specific D&D rules references. And it's so funny to see it with different audiences because some people get it right away. They hear the jokes, right? You're like the one really loud laugh and you're like, oh, there's somebody who played D&D, and it slowly builds, Yeah, we're proud to sort of pull some people out of the geek closet.
But what's great is I've also talked to some people I know that have never played Dungeons and Dragons. They know of it, and so they kind of see there and they're kind of aware of the concept, but they're still able to watch the film and enjoy it, just because of the performances. We got such great actors on there, and so it's like they're able to actually get follow the story. It's not like it's specific to the geek audience, Yeah, but playing here, Fantasia Fest, this was the greatest. The best audience we've ever had, without a doubt. Just because it was a packed house, and the audience, it was awesome. It was great.
We knew we were playing Fantasia, but we weren't sure when or where. It's a very long festival, it was 3 weeks, and we weren't sure when it would be good to come up, and so sort of last minute, it was last week, we found out that we were playing closing night, and yeah, but before Guillermo del Toro, who's such a huge, he's such a hero for us, and we were like, okay, we have to go. Yeah, so we jumped on the plane and came up, and I'm so glad we did because this festival's amazing. Yeah. I love Montreal anyway. We had both been here 12 years ago. It was the last time we were here. I shot a movie here, and we hung out, and it was so much fun. So it's a great city, and then I can't believe the amount of people that come and support film. It's so wonderful.
I know. I wish we could have been able to here for the entire week. Because I keep looking through the roster of films, and I'm like, oh, that looks great. Looks great. And I'm sure all of them were packed and really fun, and a good time.